big stock take sale is on now. Take 50% off all cookware and cutlery, 50% off all sheets and quilts, and 40% off all underwear, bras and footwear. Exclusions apply. See in-store or online for details. In children's wards and emergency, mandated nurse-to-patient ratios do not exist in country hospitals. Our hospitals need safe nurse-to-patient ratios on every ward, every shift, every country hospital.
Authorised by B Homes, New South Wales Nurses and Midwives Association, Sydney.
Former Rooster Luke Ricketson has slammed the judiciary's decision to allow Billy Slater to play in Sunday's grand final. Ricketson was rubbed out of the 2004 decider and says Slater should have suffered the same fate.
Slater arriving back in Sydney, this time on a commercial jet with teammates. A far cry from yesterday's military-style operation, which involved a private plane and blackened vans. But it was all worth it. Billy was free.
It's good to be up here in Sydney. It's grand final week. We've got the Dalians tonight. We've got a big day of training. We've got a fan day tomorrow.
I think we've seen that over the last sort of 16 years, haven't we, how important he is. So it's great that he's playing and we get on with business now.
The decision to allow Slater to play in the grand final delighting the two Hardy Storm supporters outside NRL HQ. And his mum was also happy.
I was doing cartwheels then. Yes, I was extremely happy because I really didn't know which way it was going to go.
Our footy fan Prime Minister was asked the question.
You think Billy Slater should have been suspended for his
And when he answered, he was like a politician.
There's a big stage set for the weekend and Billy will be on it and I'm sure it's going to be a cracking game.
Less diplomatic, Roosters hero Luke Ricketson, who missed the 2004 grand final through suspension.
Can't get my head around it. The rules are put in place and the rules are pretty black and white. It's pretty clear cut. The shoulder charge is now back on.
It was Slater himself who swayed the panel of former players through his impressive evidence, passionately explaining it was a collision through the hips and chest, not a shoulder charge. But the effort took its toll.
After last night, he was just exhausted. He just sat there for a considerable amount of time, and even coming home, he was happy, but he was just exhausted.
After a grueling few days, Slater now has an important matter to attend to. His last ever match, which just happens to be a grand final.
I hadn't prepared at all for this game up until last night, so it's important for me to catch up and do everything possible for me to play well on Sunday.
Neil Breen, NBN News.
There was no surprise in the Roosters camp when Slater was given the green light to play. Coach Trent Robinson has other things to worry about, most importantly the fitness of Cooper Cronk.
If there's one man who should be outraged by the decision to free Billy, it's Trent Robinson. But he never thought we'd be saying see you Slater to the Melbourne #1 last night.
It was sort of insignificant to what our prep was. We expected that result and we were prepared to play. So it's, it's good for Billy. It's good for the game and we've got our plan and we know how we're going to play.
So you thought Billy had played?
Yeah, I think everyone thought Billy had played.
Robinson wasn't prepared to rip into the judiciary or the NRL over their decision. Do you think it was a shoulder charge?
Well, that's, it's probably not for me to say. I don't know what my private thoughts are, but, it's been dealt with.
The key to the Roosters' plans all season has been Cooper Cronk. Robinson says he's still a long shot and will trust Cronk when it comes to making a decision.
Every day, every hour is sort of improvement. Cooper's a young man with a bit of experience, so he'll have the final say.
I noticed that Cooper Cronk's wearing 23, Michael Jordan's number.
Yeah, it was a bit of a thing. He might need to be Michael Jordan to play on Sunday, so I think we're having a bit of fun with that, but if there's a chance, Cooper will give it a crack.
Rob's field approach when it comes to his first choice halfback. I almost fell off my chair when I saw Mitchell Hughes named at #7.
Yeah, that's, he's got a good kicking game and he won a 9s tournament on the back of his kicking, so you never know.
He's a big halfback.
He is a big halfback.
Is he a chance of playing there?
Look, Danny, that's obviously our prerogative. That's our card up our sleeve for this week. So, I'll probably get asked a lot about that in the next couple of days, and I won't be giving anything away.
Danny Weidler, NBN News.
The season's best team will be crowned on Sunday. Tonight, the best player will be honoured with the Dally M medal. Reporter Danica Mason is on the red carpet.
Well, it is a pretty tight race for tonight's Dally M medal. There are a number of favourites, including Roger Tuivasa-Shecker from the New Zealand Warriors, Damien Cook, who had a spectacular season for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Valentine Holmes from the Cronulla Sharks, and also Kalen Ponga at just 20 years of age from the Newcastle Knights, who had an incredible season as well. And while the main event is, of course, inside for the awards ceremony, a lot of the focus is here on the red carpet. The players and their partners are just starting to arrive now, and they have spent all day getting glammed up and ready for tonight's event. A lot of hair and makeup, and looking pretty spectacular as well. So it is set to be a pretty exciting night here in Sydney for the Dally M Awards. The winner will be crowned later on.
The Wallabies say the pressure is on South Africa to perform this weekend following the Springboks' big upset over the All Blacks. Michael Checker's men are desperate to bounce back from their embarrassing loss to Argentina a fortnight ago. Australia and South Africa meet in Port Elizabeth on Sunday morning. In just a moment, Collingwood coach Nathan Buckley fuels speculation of a last-minute selection change ahead of the AFL Grand Final. And an easy win for the Opals in the Basketball World Cup.
Australia, you'll save in every aisle, every day at Coles. Save on footy final favourites.
Coca-Cola soft drink 375ml cans 24-pack, just $14.10. Save $17. That's better than half price. New to Down Down. Peter's Original Ice Cream 4-litre tub, just $7.50. And Smith's Crinkle Potato Chips or Doritos Corn Chips 170 grams, just $1.65 each. That's half price.
I saved $12.54.
Good things are happening to prices at Coles.
Hot news on it there. Terminal stores. At Amcal, get expert advice and great prices. Make spring your thing with these super hot offers on algae products. And top up $50, only $23 after cashback. For hay fever relief, just ask Amcal.
Introducing Macca's new breakfast burger. That's right, it's the Big Mac. You can now have a Big Mac for brekkie, or a cheeseburger, quarter pounder, fries and chicken McNuggets. Now available all day, all night.
Pushing mattress salesmen and overpriced brand labels? Get real at O&M. Real mattresses, real people, real value. And right now, get 10 to 60% off every mattress, excluding OLP range. Ends soon at O&M. Wow. 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 Get the wow factor in your home with new carpet from Anderson's and be wowed by our unbeatable guarantees, like our lowest price guarantee. Wow. Only at Anderson's. Feel like you're being left behind by settling for one of the big four banks? Well, don't wait for a sign to start getting ahead. Discover the way banking should be with Newcastle Permanent. The Miller's Everything is $20 or less sale is now on. New season looks are now $20 or less. Dresses now $20. Caftans now $20. Tops now $20. Don't miss out. Everything is $20 or less. Hurry, it's for a limited time only.
Find out how Maywell can help your business today. We do assembly for industry, timber products, scanning and confidential document destruction. Let us save you time with product assembly, mail-outs, promotional material and more. Visit www.maywell.com.au or call 4932 8599. When something's special, you want to protect it. Cabot's makes it last.
At me,
We've hit a low note on our home loan rates. Jump online and try our home loan calculator to see how much you can save. Visit mebank.com.au.
Preparations both on and off the field are ramping up ahead of the AFL Grand Final in Melbourne. Collingwood coach Nathan Buckley continues to toss and turn over the makeup of his team, which appears far from settled.
Little Jax Pendlebury is still learning the ropes from Dad, and the skipper has a few grand final tips to dish out. 8 years ago, Scott Pendlebury had a premiership medallion and a Norm Smith medal around his neck. And while selection nerves don't apply to this superstar, today the coach revealed Saturday's team is far from set in stone.
There are a couple of boys that we think could help us, and we will consider that when we get to the other side of training tomorrow.
Defenders Darcy Moore and Ben Reid loom as the obvious inclusions to tackle West Coast tall timber up forward. But tinkering with last week's winning formula will be a brave move.
We have had a largely unchanged side for 2 or 3 weeks, which has been a strength, I think, and we've built on that consistency.
Injury has left Collingwood with a makeshift backline at times this season, but one man who's remained an unlikely constant is Tom Langdon.
Really lucky this year not having many injuries that have sort of kept me out of the team. Playing my first final 3 weeks ago and now playing in the grand final has been a pretty surreal experience, and it's all happened pretty quickly, to be honest.
Jeremy Howe arrived for treatment on his ankle. Tomorrow's main training session will be D-Day.
The movement's coming back pretty strong. But yeah, obviously train tomorrow and it's feeling good.
All eyes will be on the star defender come 10:30.
Australia has cruised into the quarterfinals of the Basketball World Cup after the Opals easily accounted for Turkey in their final pool game overnight. For the third straight game, Liz Cambridge starred for the Aussies despite some special treatment.
Oh, you're kidding me? Unsportsmanlike foul. This might be the most impressive play by Cambridge.
She finished with 25 points from just under 19 minutes on the court to lead all scorers. Australia will now play the winner of the clash between China and Japan on Friday night.